If you hate yourself or wish you were someone else, this video is for you. I've been there, trust me. The constant comparison, the jealousy, the voice in your head saying, "You're not enough." It's not true. And today, I want to show you why. If you're tired of being at war with yourself, this video will hopefully help you see things differently. And maybe love yourself a little more. I personally do struggle a lot with self-worth, and I am definitely not perfect. I am not fully there yet to self-love, but I've made a lot of progress, and I've learned things that help me work through it. I want to share them with you. By the way, I'm Eleanor, and I'm here to help you be happier and calmer and more emotionally intelligent in this very difficult world that we live in. I'm uploading a new video about once a week on mindset and emotional health and self-improvement. If you want to see more like this, do me a favor and sub to the channel. Okay, let's get into it. This channel is not about toxic positivity. I'm gonna say this right off the bat. It is true that some people are born in objectively better circumstances than you. And I know that might not be what you want to hear going into this video, but if I were to ignore that fact, I wouldn't be honest or helpful. I don't think you'd be able to get as much as you could out of this video. Some people are born with a nicer family, more money, more natural charisma and intelligence. Some people grow up in safer environments with better mental health, clearer skin, faster metabolisms, and more emotional support, or simply in communities that believe in them. It's real, and life really truly is unfair. But even though the playing field is not equal, the main takeaway I want you to have at the end of this video is that only you can be you. Your story alone has so much value. Your struggle builds character and resilience. The goal is not to pretend that you have what others have or go on this self-improvement journey so that you can have exactly what others have and finally be the perfect person you want to be. You want to build something real with what is yours because only you can be you. Only you have this vast array of experiences from you. Own your reality and don't try to escape it. Now that that little disclaimer is out of the way, I'm gonna hopefully shed some light on how you might have gotten into this situation of self-doubt. I'm gonna tell you how you can change that narrative within yourself and find more confidence and authenticity in being you. Here are some reasons I have for you to stop wishing that you were someone else. So the first thing, taught comparison. You were literally conditioned in this world to compare yourself to others. You weren't born thinking you weren't enough. You were taught that. In the age of social media, remember that we are all being encouraged at all times to want more, to be more, to buy more, to be different, to be perfect. Advertisers will often just make up problems so that they can solve them for you and get money out of you. I mean, think about it. Acne used to be something that humans just got, and now it's a flaw that you're told to be ashamed of. All of these physical things that you might be insecure about, cellulite, wrinkles, hip dips, pores, things also like your style, your body type, your personality, everything has become something in the eyes of society as something to be perfected and optimized. And it's like, you're not allowed to be human anymore? I mean, society is counting on you to hate yourself because it's profitable and you have less power if you hate yourself. They want you to believe that you're inadequate. Celebrities and influencers often have their influence because they're seen as this like peak perfect human when really they just have money and connections. The point is, this level of comparison to other people, to this impossible standard on a daily basis is not natural for humans. We're not supposed to be exposed to millions of people online every day to compare ourselves to. It's not natural for the human condition, so it stresses you out. It makes you more depressed and anxious. It all just makes you believe that you're not good enough as you are. Makes you believe that you need to be more extroverted, or you need to have more friends, or you need to be skinnier, you need to be eating healthier, you need to be doing all of these things to live this perfect optimized life. And I know that's kind of what I do on my channel, but I'm keeping it real, okay? And it's not just social media, it's everything. Everything is designed to make you feel like shit about yourself. Everything is stacked up against our nervous systems, and it is understandable why you would hate yourself, why you would want to be someone else, because we're all told to want more. This comparison leads to idealization. In reality, Everyone is always dealing with their own problems, just as you. Now, these problems might seem foreign or unrelatable to you, like, I wish I had these problems instead of the ones that I'm dealing with. I wish that I struggled with that instead of this. But they're all still affected just the same. One person's path is not better than someone else's. Now, you might see someone who's confident and successful and maybe rich, but what you don't see is their anxiety, their fear of being misunderstood, the pressure they carry to keep it all together, or that they actually feel very alone behind closed doors. That person who you find yourself wanting to be like, you idealize a version of them that isn't whole. It's just what they let you see. It's a version that's filtered and polished, and you're not getting the full picture. You see the full picture of yourself. You see all the highs and lows, but you often only see other people's highs. And that's why you want to be like them. Just because someone looks like they have it all together does not mean that they do. They might just be really good at hiding their pain. You never actually know what's going on in someone's head. They might actually hate themselves while being so perfect in your eyes. And just because someone else's struggle, someone else's path looks cleaner and easier than yours does not mean it's better. It's just different. Okay, I think this one is really important. It's judgment of yourself. You don't judge people like you judge yourself. Have you ever stopped and thought about how you treat others compared to yourself, how you think about them compared to yourself? People you know and strangers. You're not sitting there judging their every single move or imperfection. You're probably doing more admiring than judging if you're even thinking about them. You're not looking at them and thinking, ew, they have so much acne. What are they even doing with their hands right now? Or, ew, they're so weird. And even if you are, that's probably more just projection from your own insecurities. And it's also very important to recognize that. The important thing here is that notice how when you think those thoughts about someone, maybe you're judging them, that passes really quickly and you don't actually care. You are more focused on your own things. You don't hold other people to this high standard that you hold yourself to. You don't actually care about the people that you're judging in public or like your friends. You're literally just observing, and this is how other people see you. They don't actually care. They're not judging you that harshly. And if they are, again, it's projection. But with you in your own body and your own mind, you're with yourself all the time. And you're so incredibly focused on what you could be doing wrong. You're so self-conscious, and that's not at all how other people think about you. Whenever I personally start to judge myself too harshly, I try and look at myself through like my mom's eyes, or my friend's eyes, or a stranger's eyes, and then I don't feel so perfectionistic. I start thinking, well, maybe I do actually have my shit together. Because, like, the people on the outside, they're not seeing me and my struggle, and they're not judging me like I judge myself, and it's the same for you. And again, like, everyone is self-conscious about themselves, and they're so much more focused on themselves and their own flaws than yours. It's the spotlight effect, that's what it's called. The point is, no one actually sees you through your own judgmental eyes. Remember that. Okay, I think this one is really important too. You forget your magic. Your harsh inner critic that feeds off of the comparison to others makes you forget your own magic. You can't see it in yourself a lot of the time because it's right in front of you, and you live with all of these negative thoughts and feelings about you and the world around you. When you look at your face and your body in the mirror every day, you get used to it. You kind of forget what you actually look like to other people. You might start to think you're ugly because you look at yourself all the time. You listen to your voice and your laugh and the way that you talk every day, and you might forget how special and wonderful it can be to other people. All of these trivial things, like your sense of humor, your empathy, your curiosity, your handwriting, your taste in music, clothes, books, movies, your creativity, it all seems so ordinary to you. But to a stranger, even to a friend, a family member, a coworker, a classmate, or an acquaintance, you might be such an interesting and gorgeous person to them, and you just don't realize it. Because, again, you live with yourself all the time and you forget your own magic. If you wish that you could be like someone else, if there's a person in your life specifically that you're like, oh, I want to be like them, that person might be wishing that they were like you. They might be jealous of you because they've also forgotten their own magic. And you might be thinking to yourself, like, how can this person forget their own magic when they're just so magical? We all forget our own magic and doubt ourselves and start hating ourselves because of this whole environment of toxicity and comparison. That person that you idolize and wish you could be like could have absolutely no clue that people feel that way about them, just as you do. Don't let yourself lose your magic. So this point definitely goes hand in hand with the last one, but secret admirers. While you may have forgotten your own magic, I assure you that other people have not. You may think that as you go through life, go to school or work, run errands, have fun little outings, that you're just drifting by unnoticed by everyone around you. But you likely do have secret admirers, whether you want to believe it or not. And you'd be surprised by just who sees something special in you and just doesn't say it out loud. Yes, it's still true that most people are still caught up in their own things and likely not thinking about you too hard. But just like some people can still judge you, some people can still admire you from afar, and you will not realize it. There will always be someone who admires something about you, physically or mentally, or just with the way that you go about life and carry yourself. Also remember this. People tend not to say or let on truly just how much they adore you. They'll only give you little snippets, some compliments here and there, small bits of validation, especially if they're secretly jealous of you, because if someone's secretly jealous of you, they might not want you to feel good. So they might find ways to kind of undercut your own confidence, but I assure you, you are adored by someone. And you know, if someone's complimenting you, there's probably so much more appreciation and love that they have going on under the surface for you that they're not saying because it might just come off as weird. Were you ever in school or at work with someone who just seemed so cool that you couldn't bring yourself to talk to them? That might be how people feel about you. In fact, you may feel like a social outcast or a freak just because people are nervous to interact with you. You might hate yourself, but just remember, you forget your own magic. You forget your own presence and the effect that you have on other people. You never realize how often people are admiring you from afar until they tell you. You probably have a lot more secret admirers than you think. Quick pause. I'm sorry, I really hate to do the YouTuber thing and say this, but if you're enjoying this video, it would really help me out for you to leave a like or show any kind of support, because I'm still a very small channel and I would like my tips to reach more people, because people deserve to feel good. Okay, enough with that. Next thing, unseen gifts. Sometimes these things that people admire about you aren't even things that you would think of as special. Your gifts might look a lot different than you expect. I want to use a little personal anecdote of mine with this point. A couple weeks ago, my brother was having a conversation with my mom about how he wishes that he could be one of those people that just has the energy to get things done and be productive, and that he feels like he's behind in life because of this disadvantage. And as an older sister, I had to butt in and tell him that he can't really see his true gifts. I told him, and it's true, that he's incredibly smart and creative and funny and kind, and that I wish I was as creative and funny as him. He might not do many of his assignments in school, but he does great on the tests, which means that he's actually learning the concepts fast. He just doesn't like the work. He's just not built for it. He still has so many gifts that he takes for granted and ignores because he's too focused on this weakness of his. This conversation made me realize how often you can overlook your own gifts just because it's not what society paints as the perfect and optimized personality. Just because something's not what the world praises the loudest doesn't mean it's not just as valuable. There are so many strengths you might not realize that you have because, again, you live with yourself all the time and you're blind to it. Even if you don't think you're at all smart or funny or creative or hardworking or charismatic, you could still be, for example, a very good listener, very emotionally intelligent, self-aware, or even self-critical, which can be strengths. You could be super observant or empathetic, or like a grounding presence to other people. And maybe you're the type of person that can still stay kind even if you're hurting. Maybe you have a gift of being able to make people feel less alone. Even just being a unique soul with your own identity is a gift in of itself. and you may not realize how other people truly appreciate it. So if you feel like you're falling behind or you're not good enough, just remember, it's easy to wish that you could be someone else when you don't see your own gifts clearly. But the truth is, someone else might be wishing they have what you already do, and you're just blind to it. And some of the most meaningful gifts are the ones that no one sees at first. That's the kind of value that can't be taught or copied. That's you. Next, self-betrayal. When we ignore or downplay these gifts that we have, or what is special about you, what makes you you, when we try to become someone we're not, we start betraying ourselves. And that will hurt you more than you realize. You might think that you're just tired of being you, that you wish you could walk in someone else's shoes, act like someone else, be someone else, have someone else's life. But when you start changing your behavior to be inauthentic to you, it's dangerous because you might lose yourself. It starts small, changing how you talk, what you wear, what you post. You shrink parts of yourself to be more palatable. You stop saying what you really think. You second guess your gut. You try to copy someone else's specific formula for happiness, hoping it'll one day work out for you too. Even if that formula for happiness that you believe someone else has might not even be making them happy internally. When you constantly try to do this and mold yourself into someone else, it chips away at your self-trust. You start abandoning your intuition, your weird ideas, your real voice. And for what? Approval? Validation that never actually lasts? It could bring you joy in the moment, short-term satisfaction, but it can never be truly fulfilling to be loved for someone who you're not. That's why you should lean into you. Because only you can be you. Again, only you have this array of experiences that you can draw from. Do not disconnect yourself from your core beliefs, because you're going to lose yourself and it's not going to feel good. And I'm reminding you again, that person that you might want to be like, they might just want to be like you too. All of this comparison, it's not real. It's all just illusions. Destiny. Okay, the title of this section sounds a little corny, but I really want you to remember that you were never meant to be anyone else in this life. Your destiny was always to be you, and no one can do that better. If you're alive, you were meant to be here. You were put on this earth for a reason. Do you think that reason is to hate yourself and wish that you were someone else? No. It's to share your gifts, whatever those gifts may be. I know this all sounds a little bit self-helpy and maybe overly spiritual, but sometimes you gotta get in touch with spirituality to fully love yourself. Even if you think all of this spiritual shit is a lie, tell it to yourself anyway, if it helps. But anyways, ignore societal norms and expectations because we live unnaturally anyways. It's all social constructs. Embrace your uniqueness and your destiny, even if you don't know what that is. Become more unapologetically you, because again, no one else can be you. Whatever you feel called to do, whatever you feel drawn to, do more of it. That is how you can be authentic, and don't second guess yourself or doubt yourself, because that's what makes room for comparison and this feeling of hating yourself. Do whatever makes you feel good and fulfilled. Love what you love wholeheartedly. You don't need some kind of grand purpose or plan or picture to deserve your life. Existing is enough reason to take up space. You're allowed to just be, to try things, to change your mind. Life isn't meant to be a performance. You weren't born to be wishing that you were someone else, because you were born with a certain blend of traits, you were raised in certain circumstances, and you've had certain experiences that create this just blend of a person, and no one else can have that. So stop waiting for permission to become who you are. The version of you that exists now is already worthy of love and joy and a good life and self-love. And you don't have to wait until you're perfect or healed or successful to start living your truth. And you know, you can really do whatever the hell you want in this life. You have free will. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, go for it. You are completely free. And you're meant to be here. Start where you are. Don't try to be someone else, because it disconnects you from the person that you were born to be. Once you can really see yourself, you start noticing little things. The beauty in the life that you're already living. That's where gratitude comes in. Be grateful for what you do have. It is incredibly easy to forget what you have and lose perspective and start thinking that you could have so much more, because that's what society wants us to feel like. It wants us to feel like what we have isn't enough, so that we want more. But the truth is, if you're watching this video right now, I guarantee that you're luckier than most of the people in this world. You have a level of privilege that you ignore because you're used to it. I know, you don't want to hear this. Oh, just be grateful for what you do have. And I'm not saying this to guilt trip you with the classic others have it worse, but it is something to be aware of. And if you kind of go into that frame of mind, you might stop hating the life you live so much. Finding gratitude in small things can just help you find more enjoyment and fulfillment out of life. If you're eating food, for example, be grateful for each bite. If you get to wake up in the morning with a roof over your head, access to clean clothes, and a shower, be grateful for it. It will absolutely make you happier. Gratitude is such an easy way to just become happy. Don't write it off. There's a reason why people always say it. Gratitude puts things into perspective. Now, this doesn't cancel out your own struggles. Doesn't matter how grateful you are for the things you have, you will still feel negative emotions because that's just the human experience. We are programmed to find problems in everything, even yourself. But if you internalize a lot of these things that I've just told you, I can guarantee you'll feel a lot better about yourself on a daily basis. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some new perspective. Hopefully you're a little more grateful for what you have, a bit more appreciative of yourself, your journey, your gifts. And if this feeling of not being good enough gets too heavy sometimes, don't be afraid to ask for help. Therapy or support groups can be absolutely life-changing, and you deserve that kind of support. No one should have to live with hating themselves constantly. Comment down below what part of this video spoke to you the most. And if this helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of my uploads. Thank you for being here, and see you next time. Bye!